Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 15 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. As you may notice, this video did go up a bit earlier than usual, and that's because I wanted you guys to be able to watch this and then tune into the official Pokemon stream for US Nationals. Video game starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, so a bit after this video, you're done watching this video. But go definitely check that out. There's going to be some really great battles and commentary. Hopefully I even make it onto stream, but if you want live updates as to how I'm doing at Nationals, follow me or check my Twitter out at Cybertron VGC. But yeah, we're gonna, just continue laddering with this team. It's been really fun so far. The first 4 games have gone quite well, so we'll see what we can do as we try to climb into the 1800s really by the end of the week. So we're just going to look for our first opponent of the day, or I guess our only opponent since we're only playing 1 game per day, with a rating of 1747. And as always, if you enjoy Road to Rank, please show support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want more Pokemon content, Nationals will be streaming both on Saturday and Sunday as well. Saturday being more great video game rounds, as we find Jake from New Jersey with a rating of 1653, and then Sunday is Championship Sunday. So you definitely want to keep your eye out on that stream if you're not watching Road to Rank. But Jake here has got a pretty interesting team of Bisharp, Rotom-Wash, Charizard, Landorus, T, Azumarill, and Clefable. So, Mega Evolution here in Charizard, most likely Y, though could potentially be X. Azumarill here, pretty scary as well. Bisharp, definitely something that I'm paying attention to just because of the fact that, of course, I have Scrafty. This is actually really tough. I don't think my Mega Charizard matchup is very good. I feel like the combination of Charizard and Landorus is very, very threatening to my entire team. And I definitely don't like my matchup right now, so let's see what I want to lead with. Something like... I could risk Scrafty and a Gardevoir. I could. Well, what I'm thinking right now is Scrafty, Gardevoir with Amoonguss in the back, so in the off chance he leads with Clefairy, Bisharp, I can just switch out into Amoonguss. And then for the last one, I mean, even though Heatran is tempting here, I think I need something to hit the Landorus, Azumarill, and the Charizard. And the only Pokemon that can really do that well is Rotom. But you remember in yesterday's episode where Heatran and Gardevoir were able to overwhelm my opponent so quickly. So part of me wants to bring the Heatran just because I know he's probably going to set the sun up. But I think Rotom is just a smarter call here. So I'm going to lock in and we'll see how this goes. Definitely not a fantastic matchup. One unique thing about this Trick Room team is it doesn't use any really fast Pokemon. Sometimes Trick Room teams like this like to run Landorus T or Thundurus. If you look at VGC 2013 where players like myself and Ryosuke Kosuge used Trick Room at Worlds, a lot of the times it was in combination with fast Pokemon like Landorus, Thundurus, or Rotom. But we're going to see the Charizard and the Bisharp lead here from my opponent against Scrafty and Gardevoir. Obviously, this isn't too great because of the fact that I give the Bisharp the boost immediately, as I actually Trace Defiant. But the thing here is I can at least just fake out Bisharp and Trick Room. Yeah. But obviously, it's never fun giving it a Defiant boost, but that's what I'm going to go for. I'm just going to fake out. Let's see, who do I have in the back? Rotom and Amoonguss. Yeah, he's probably just going to go for a Heat Wave. But immediately this is really scary because if he has something like Overheat could just knock out Gardevoir. So, really relying on setting up Trick Room immediately this first turn, and if I don't, it's not going to be a very good battle. Could actually just go by very quickly because the combination of Charizard and Bisharp is very, very strong. So taking a bit of a gamble here, but that's the thing sometimes when you play with Trick Room teams, you just go all in. But Charizard's going to Mega Evolve here, no surprise, and it is Charizard Y, not Charizard X. I'm going to set up the Drought. Of course, I do have Assault Vest and Scrafty, so I won't faint. But right now the most important thing is, do I set up Trick Room successfully? And then once I do, we have to go from there. It's still definitely far from a win, even with Trick Room up. But he doesn't protect with either of his Pokemon, so that's good. I break a potential Focus Sash from Bisharp, so I can just Drain Punch it next turn. And he does have the Overheat. That is not pretty. He's going to target down the Gardevoir here. Is that enough to knock me out? Let's see. It isn't! Wow! I wasn't expecting Gardevoir to hang on there, but I managed to hang on, and I set up Trick Room, which is so good for me here. What a clutch survival there from Gardevoir. I really, really needed that, and that makes this match a bit more easy to play against. If I didn't get up Trick Room there, I think it definitely would have just been over. Let's see, the Drain Punch on the Bisharp is very, very obvious. So part of me wants to predict the Charizard to switch out into something like Azumarill or Clefairy, and I just want to go for the Super Fang Hyper Voice. And I'm going to do that. A bit of a gamble here, but Bisharp protects. He doesn't switch out Charizard though, which was the main prediction I was making, so unfortunately that doesn't work out too well, but you know what? I'll take anything I can get here. Though a Psychic obviously went a bit better. And now in retrospect, I probably just should have went for a Psychic outright. So he's going to be able to get a Heat Wave off here. That's going to knock out the Gardevoir. But fortunately, Scrafty with that Assault Vest and Charizard being at -2 really doesn't do very much damage there. So that's good for me at least. So let's see. I can bring in Rotom or Amoonguss. Who would I rather bring in right now? I think Rotom is slightly better just because of the fact... actually, no. I like Amoonguss more here. I want to really take advantage of the fact that none of his Pokemon resist Spore. And, you know, try to make the most out of these 3 turns of Trick Room that I have left. So, what I can do here is double target Bisharp. Well, let's see who he has in the back. Charizard's the only Pokemon that really threaten both of me. I guess the one thing I'm really scaring is Clefable switching in. Maybe a bit overly paranoid. Actually, a better play I could probably make is just going for a knockoff onto Charizard and a Spore onto Bisharp. I like that a bit more. Oh, he protects with Charizard. Okay. So, I mean, that works out alright. I guess he doesn't have Clefable then, given like he hasn't brought it in. I'm not entirely sure. So that is 2 turns of Trick Room gone. If my opponent places correctly, he should be able to, you know, get that Charizard back in, which is obviously the scariest thing going for me right now. So I'm going to Drain Punch Bisharp, and I'm just going to Spore the Charizard slot. But a bit scary here. I really wish I went for Psychic onto Charizard. I think that was a very bad misplay on my end. Just because I knew the Bisharp there was probably going to protect. And, you know, looking at what my opponent could have switched in, Psychic just would have been a better play. So that really set me back. Unfortunately, that may be a game-losing misplay, but, you know, I kind of deserve it for not thinking about that sooner. So he's going to bring in Rotom. I'm very happy to see that, just because, obviously, you know, Rotom, not a very big threat to my team. So I'm going to be able to Spore that, and I'm going to be able to Drain Punch the Bisharp to knock it out here, which is good. And there is one more turn of Trick Room. However, the main thing that I'm scared of right now is Charizard obviously threatens both my Pokemon an immense amount. So he's going to be able to bring that back in. I think the most important thing right now is I'm probably going to want to rely on Scrafty to knock out the Charizard with a knockoff, because if I can pull that off, then, you know, Amoonguss checks the rest of my opponent's team pretty well. Because, you know, I mean, I don't know what his last Pokemon is. I guess we'll find out soon. Charizard might switch back in here because then it creates some mind games, you know. Do I go for the Protect or do I just go for an attack right away? And he does bring in the Charizard, which is a good play on his end. But the Sun is also running out, which is... good. Maybe. Well, I want to think this fully through, because I don't know his last Pokemon yet, which is perhaps the scariest thing right now. I would guess Landorus or Azumarill. Both of those Pokemon are checked pretty hard by Rotom. I guess the thing I'm most scared of is Rotom switching out into Landorus, getting the Intimidate off, and then Knockoff not KOing Charizard. I guess another play I could make is switching Scrafty out into Rotom and going for the Spore onto Charizard. Yeah, it seems like a bit safer of a play just because it says, hey, if you don't switch out here, then I put you to sleep. If you protect, that's fine because then I can just Thunderbolt you the following turn. So he's just going to make the safer play by protecting Charizard, but I'm okay with that. Spore going into Charizard as Rotom takes its first turn of sleep. So Sun should run out here, I believe. Yep. So I did count that correctly. And Trick Room expires. So he can overheat. So do I want a Thunderbolt or Hydro Pump predicting Landorus? You know what? I'm just gonna Hydro Pump here. And switch into Scrafty. So let's see if Charizard switches out here. Personally, I would probably switch out if I were my opponent. Another play I could have made was, you know, Charizard's not doing very much against the Scrafty, so I could have just stayed in last turn and gone for the Super Fang and the Giga Drain onto Rotom. Now, he does withdraw Charizard, which I'm okay with, so let's see what his last Pokemon is. Is it that Landorus? It is going to be Landorus, so that's good for me here. I guess I could have sported there as well. But the nice thing here is, because he's faster than Amoonguss, I actually get to intimidate his Landorus, which is really great. This is going to be a close finish to the game, but definitely my advantage, especially if I hit this Will-O-Wisp. Not the Will-O-Wisp, the Hydro Pump. If I do hit that, then the Landorus will be in KO range really from anything, and I really would like that. Hydro Pump misses the Landorus, of course, as Rotom takes another turn of sleep. Well, that's Pokemon for you, as I always say. But, you know what, that's alright. How do I win this game now? I could double up into Landorus. You could also make some interesting plays here. For example, switching Rotom out into Charizard and then U-turning with Landorus. But that would actually be a really good play. So maybe I want to predict that. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to Hydro Pump Landorus because if it switches out, and I'm going to knock off Rotom. Yeah. So let's see if he switches. Oh, he just goes for Superpower. Interesting. Well, it's not going to knock me out, but it does a lot of damage. Perhaps a misplay on my end there. Hydro Pump connects this time, but perhaps a bit late. Does it knock it out? Oh wow, it does. Wasn't expecting that, but that's nice. Okay, so now Rotom does manage to wake up. What does he go for? He's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp here onto the Rotom Wash on my end. Okay, well, this is very interesting now. And I do manage to get a knockoff against his Rotom, removing his item and getting, wow, all that damage off. He does have leftovers. So he's going to bring in his Charizard. And we're in for an intense finish to this game. Let's see. So you see how low HP he's at with Charizard. Okay, we really got to play these next few turns correctly, I think. He could Solar Beam Rotom. That might not even knock me out though, since Rotom is pretty bulky. I think his play is maybe Solar Beam Rotom, Will-O-Wisp Scrafty. So then the question becomes, do I want to switch out? I could also if I survive the Solar Beam, then I obviously just win. You could also protect Charizard here. So I could double up on Rotom. Oh, this is really scary. Okay, let's see. I don't think he'd Heat Wave here with Charizard. No, actually, I don't know. That would also make sense punishing an Amoonguss switch in. I shouldn't have left Scrafty take that superpower. That was not a good move on my end. You know what? I'm gonna Thunderbolt Charizard and switch out. Yeah, yeah. The reason why I'm going for this play is it's saying, okay, if you don't go for the Solar Beam, or if you go for a Fire type attack, then I just, you know, KO Charizard. If you protect Charizard, oh, perfect. And the reason why I'm saying perfect here is because of the fact now I can just Rage Powder Thunderbolt this next turn, and he Thunderbolts Amoonguss. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's so good for me here. So I'm surprised he didn't try to attack there with Charizard, but. You know, it makes sense going for the protect, but the Thunderbolt there actually wouldn't have even knocked out Scrafty, though maybe he was hoping the burn would put me in Solar Beam KO range. But now I'm just going to Thunderbolt and Rage Powder. And of course you're saying, hey, that might be a bit silly play because he can just Heat Wave Thunderbolt, but it ensures that Solar Beam doesn't target down Rotom, and then, you know, Amoonguss goes down, Rotom is at pretty low damage, but then I've also got Scrafty and my Rotom against his Rotom. And you saw that my Rotom outsped his last turn, since this is a relatively speedy Rotom. So that goes a long way, especially against his, and it doesn't have leftovers either. He does make the smarter play here, just goes for the Heat Wave as opposed to the Solar Beam. So that's going to knock out Amoonguss, but I'm going to be able to knock out his Charizard, taking out the bigger threat really to my entire team, and more importantly my Rotom. And it doesn't look like I'm speed tying here. I mean, I could have won 2 speed ties in a row, but his Thunderbolt should have knocked me out here. It might be close just because, well, let's see. Because, you know, I am burned, but I have leftovers. Okay, good. So I should be able to take 2 burn turns here. 38. So I heal 9 and I lose 19. Okay. If he gets a double protect, he still has a shot at winning, I guess. Might actually come down to that. Perhaps I could have played a bit better there and predicted the Heat Wave since the Rage Powder was so obvious, but what can you do? Well, I'm going to fake out Thunderbolt here, but obviously he's just going to protect. Yeah. So, it might actually just come down to burn turns, but really intense game here. Regardless, you know, a very fantastic game. I won't mind if I lose this one. But let's see. 28. No, actually I should take, yeah, I should be able to survive one more turn of burn, which is really good. He needs a triple protect. So I'm just gonna Drain Punch and Thunderbolt here. See if he gets it. He gets the double! I don't think that knocks me out, right? Yeah, it shouldn't. So let's see if he gets the triple protect. You know, of course, chance of getting consecutive protects now is 1/3 as opposed to previous gens, so makes it a bit more interesting. Yeah, I've got one more turn of burn here left with Rotom, so it's going to come down to 1/3 or 1/9 chance really of getting 2 double protects in a row. Even if he manages to pull it off, Scrafty might still be able to pull it off. Oh, he doesn't even go for it. Questionable decision on my opponent's end there. I don't know why you don't go for it, because, you know, it's clearly that, you know, Rotom is faster, and he also didn't go for the Thunderbolt onto Rotom, so he was basically saying, okay, I'm gonna let you Thunderbolt me. So I think my opponent should have gone for the double there, because if he went for the double and actually got in there, then the following turn he could burn me with Will-O-Wisp, I would Drain Punch, I wouldn't knock him out, then he could Protect and then Thunderbolt to potentially win the game. So really, really intense game there, but kind of anticlimactic since my opponent didn't end up going for the triple Protect, but you know, I'm happy, obviously, because that was a win. But really, really good game, and it was all from that Mega Gardevoir surviving that overheat right from the beginning. So, very clutch survival there, and I definitely needed that. The game definitely would have been over immediately if I didn't get it. But ultimately, my team members pulled through, and they did a really good job, despite the Hydro Pump miss from Rotom earlier on. But, yep, that's Pokemon, and you always got to figure out a way to win. So, that's going to be it for this episode. Definitely probably the best game we've had with this team so far. Really, really intense. You know, go check out the Pokemon stream later today. Maybe you'll catch me on there, maybe not. But we'll see. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. I think it'll be a lot of fun. US Nationals should be a ton of fun to watch. And yeah, so that's going to be it for this episode. Leave a like if you enjoyed it like always, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on Road to Ranked and hopefully on stream as well. Alright, peace guys.